Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? What a win from the Rams versus the Buffalo Bills. I mean, there's so much that we have to get into, so much that we have to talk about in today's episode of the Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Hito, and I want to get straight into it because I'm coming out from the stadium, from SoFi Stadium. I went from SoFi, dealt with some LA traffic, came home, wanted to record this video, get it out as soon as possible. Rams versus Bills recap. Welcome into another episode of Rams Digest. If you guys are not subscribed, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button right here, right now. We are growing. We are getting the more and more people who are watching consistently to subscribe to the channel. So go ahead and you be a part of that, right? This 91%. Be a part of the 8%, right? There's so many of you guys out there who are watching the videos who are not subscribing. Subscribe. That way you guys can continue to watch Rams Digest every single day here. As we post daily Rams content. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. I'm reporting live from SoFi. I mean, I'm not live from SoFi Stadium, but it feels like I'm like live reporting this game because I just came from the game. I mean, what else can you say about the game? Incredible win. I talked about this a couple episodes ago. If you guys are not subscribed, maybe didn't see it, didn't happen to miss it. I said, we're going to have a possible shootout. That's what I was feeling. I said the Rams, in order to win this game, are going to have to score at least 28 points is what I originally said. And I said my prediction was the Rams win 34-31. I thought it was going to be borderline shootout of a game. And we got actually a shootout. We got probably the best football game that we've seen maybe since the Rams-Kansas City game a few years ago, right? Jared Goff, Kansas City with Mahomes. I mean, you guys tell me if you agree with that or not, but I mean, just, again, incredible win. The Rams had to put up 44 points to win this game, but they do win the game versus the Buffalo Bills. The defense does give up 42 points, so of course you can, if you want to be that nitpicky person who wants to point out the negatives right now in such a moment where we're at such a high, go ahead and do that. But I'm gonna go ahead and live in the positive. You won the game. That was the most important factor. It didn't matter about stopping Josh Allen or slowing down this, slowing down that. Of course, that matters to try to win the game, but you won it. So at this point now, you got to look at everything as nothing but positives. We'll get into the first bit of recap here. I'm sorry if it's a little bit of a small screenshot, but we have 44-42. The Buffalo Bills fall to 10-3. Los Angeles Rams improving to 7-6 on the season. Again, incredible victory. You can see that kind of first quarter 7-7 game. The Rams blow up in the second quarter 17-7, outscore the Buffalo Bills. 14-7, they keep it pouring on. I'm pretty sure at some point it felt like they scored on every single possession. I think up until that third quarter, maybe fourth quarter, or the beginning of the fourth quarter may have been the first punt for the Rams, if I'm not mistaken. So just an absolute dominance on offense. And this is what we have been talking about, right, with Los Angeles Rams. Matthew Stafford, Kupp, Puka Nacua, you're healthy. Offensive line is as healthy as they're going to be. The running back is playing well, healthy as he's going to be now at this point in the season. You got to start putting up points. You got to score and score and score. The defense is going to have to hold up as much as possible, but the offense should be scoring 24 plus points per game automatically. It should be trying to strive for 30 points per game. You got to have that Sean McVay creative offense, get involved, and also just force feed your guys, right? Like force feed your guys. Look at the numbers here. You can see, obviously, we'll talk about Josh Allen in a bit and what he did versus the Rams. But Matthew Stafford, I mean, 23 for 30 on the day, 320 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 29 carries for Kyren Williams, 87 rushing yards for Kyren Williams, 2 rushing touchdowns. Puka Nacua. Can we say anything else about the guy? 12 receptions on 162 video game-like number yardage for Puka Nacua, 1 receiving touchdown. And I mean, if you guys watch the game, I mean, some of these catches, tiptoeing, barely getting in before he goes out of bounds, or the just jump balls, kind of Matthew Stafford trusting his receiver. Puka is showing that why he trusts him so much, just going up and grabbing the ball. Same thing with Cooper Kupp. I mean, finding ways to get open, but a couple times, just defense covering them, still managing to make these incredible catches, especially on that Cooper Kupp touchdown that we saw at some point in the game. So just overall, I mean, the building, by the way, and we talked about this a couple episodes as well, many Buffalo Bills fans. But I've never been to a game where it was so loud for both teams. I mean, I saw many Buffalo Bills fans trying to wave their hands down, quiet the crowd for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills when they're on offense. And yet the crowd just kept getting louder and louder. Bills score a touchdown, the crowd erupts so loud. Everyone's screaming. You got the Buffalo Bills chants going on. The Rams score, the crowd explodes. I mean, it was just insane. It was one of the craziest games I've ever been to physically in person. Just a really, really good time to be in that building. But I mean, just again, even if you're watching at home, I mean, I can't imagine it wasn't as entertaining as it was out while I was watching in the stadium. And we're going to move on to the next bit of things to pull up here. Puka Nacua, as we just talked about this, 12 receptions, 178 total yards. He had a few rushes, a rushing touchdown as well mixed in there. If you guys are fantasy football players out there, 41.8 fantasy points, obviously depending on your league settings. But I mean, Puka Nacua, again, nothing short of incredible from what Puka was doing. And it was just right off the rip. Matthew Stafford was just hitting Puka left and right. And what I noticed a lot of from this offense, of course, we have the creativity, a lot of kind of like these jet sweep kind of plays, this kind of trickery where maybe it looks like it's going one way, then it goes the other way. But the biggest thing I saw, especially early in this game, is Matthew Stafford just saying, "Here, Puka, here you go, here you go, here you go." Just force feeding him the ball, saying, "This is my best receiver. He is better than your best cornerback. I'm going to feed him all day, every day." And just like simple out routes for Puka Nacua, for Cooper Kupp. I mean, that's really what it felt like a lot of the times. Of course, a lot of play action involved. Shout out to Kyren Williams for doing his work, doing his job, and just kind of honestly sometimes making something out of nothing, just with his shimmies and jumps and just kind of the shiftiness that he had today. I mean, it was just all around incredible for the Rams. They came in, and it's what we talked about, right? Just talked about this a couple of days ago. They need to be 100%. All hands on deck when you're coming into this game versus the Buffalo Bills. They were that. And you want to go out and you want to be a little bit creative, but the biggest thing is you want all hands on deck and everyone playing their best football, ready to play, understanding the situation, understanding that if you don't win this game, it's going to be big time detrimental possibly to your playoff hopes. Of course, again, you still have those division matchups coming up soon, but you beat the Buffalo Bills. All of a sudden you're confident. All of a sudden you're looking scary, and you score 44 points against the Buffalo Bills. Now the rest of the league has been put on notice. I feel like when I was saying that a couple episodes ago, it may have been sounding like, oh, a little bit dramatic, relax, it's not that big of a deal. It's a big deal. It's a huge deal. They did exactly what they had to do. Again, I knew Sean McVay was going to have his team ready to play, but I didn't know it was going to be this good. I didn't know it was going to be this great of a game offensively. Of course, again, the defensive concerns are there a little bit. I mean, I know I pulled the numbers up right now. I'm going to see them again. I'll pull them up one more time real quick. But you look at the numbers. Khalil Shakir was the leading receiver. Definitely a great for the Buffalo Bills, and a good receiver for them, and good for him. Had a great game. But the leading rusher for the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. Give credit to Josh Allen. Played great. Ran 10 times. Carried the ball for a lot of yards, a few touchdowns. But the biggest thing is, where's James Cook, right? Not leading in receiving, not leading in rushing. Of course, he had an okay game. He had some moments, some flashes, but not really. Very, very quiet game from James Cook. So maybe you look at that from the Los Angeles Rams and say that was maybe part of their game plan. Slow down James Cook, make Josh Allen beat you. Almost did. He almost did. He scored 42 points for the Buffalo Bills, but it still wasn't enough. MVP performance from possibly the MVP of the league this year, yet the Rams still come out on top. That's why it's so impressive. You show the world, doesn't matter what the other guy's doing, doesn't matter what the other team is doing. We're going to do our thing. We're going to play our brand of football. You cannot stop us. And the Buffalo Bills couldn't. They just couldn't stop the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday. I need I say more? Need I say more? We're going to say more because I like hearing myself talk, apparently. Here's this quick little stat that I'm pretty sure is accurate. I got to double check the numbers, but the Rams are the first offensive line this season, reportedly, to hold the Bills without a sack. Yes, the Rams offensive line were able to protect their quarterback, Matthew Stafford, not let him get sacked at all today, and not let him getting sacked at all today allowed it to be a kind of, not record-breaking, but a streak-ending moment for the Los Angeles Rams. Just kind of ending streaks all around. We talked about this last episode. The Bills are 15-0 in the last 15 games in December and January. Ended that streak. The Bills are 7-0 in their last 7 games on a 7-game win streak. End that streak. Incredible performance from the Rams. I think when I came out and I said 34-31 was my prediction, people may have thought that was a little bit of a bold prediction. It's just what I was feeling. I really felt like the Rams were ready to play. The Bills were too, but it just felt like a game that the Rams could go in, sneak in to SoFi Stadium at home and just kind of sneak out with a win, and they didn't just sneak out with a win. Again, I feel like they kind of made an emphatic stamp on the game with the way they played on offense. Great offensive line play, great receiver play, just amazing catches. Matthew Stafford, masterclass, incredible game from him. I mean, again, don't want to keep hyping these guys up, but that's just what it was. It was incredible. It was incredible. If you guys didn't watch, I highly recommend you go back and watch at least some highlights because it's just an incredible battle we saw Sunday afternoon at SoFi Stadium. Moving on, a couple more things to pull up here. Matthew Stafford talking about the win after the game, right after post-game. We're here to battle. I've known that for a long time about this team, doing it against a great team in Buffalo, great quarterback in Josh Allen. Played his ass off. Oh, it was a great quarterback. Josh Allen played his ass off today. So, gonna take every point. It was gonna take every point we could get to make sure we got the win, and I'm glad we did. Sorry that I was struggling to read that a little bit, but facts, right? It took every single point for the Rams to win this game. They needed every single inch in this game, and they got him. And they got him. I mean, it could have gone either way. You win by 2 points, and it was a little bit closer, the final score, than it really was, right? The Rams were up by a little bit more than that toward the end, especially in the fourth quarter, right? Just kind of having a couple touchdown lead there. But still, ultimately, the Rams went in and did their job. They needed every single touchdown. They needed every single field goal, every single opportunity they had out there. They literally needed that punt block, right? That special teams play. I almost slipped my mind to remember this, but it was all the way back in the first quarter. It felt like it, was a long time. It was a different game. That's how long ago it felt. The Rams go, block a punt, run it all the way back into the end zone for a touchdown. That was an incredibly huge, potentially, if you look at it, technically speaking, off the points, that wins you the game, right? If that special teams play doesn't happen, maybe your offense gets stalled out there, and all of a sudden you're playing catch up. It's a different game, right? Different game altogether. So being able to play with the lead, the defense going out, special teams going out, blocking a punt, running it back, you needed it. It just changes the momentum of the game. It makes it so, the Buffalo Bills cannot use James Cook, and they didn't really use him that well. I think he only had 10 carries on the night. So overall, again, just all around incredible play. And like Matthew Stafford said here, great quarterback play from Josh Allen. I mean, just a hell of a game from Josh Allen. Clap it up for the probable MVP. And loyal Rams fans out there want to just argue that Matthew Stafford maybe might have won it. But give Josh Allen his flowers, if you will, because he played an incredible game. And you have to give him his flowers because you have to say, look, he played so great. And the Rams still won. And that's definitely a big note here. To go out and win a game like that versus, again, the potential MVP of the league, it's just really a confidence builder. But just, again, showing the rest of the league, the Rams are not something to just ignore, for sure. So moving on from that, last bit of thing to talk about, I'm hyping up Josh Allen a little bit, and I noticed that the last time I mentioned his name, I don't want to keep saying his name because I don't want to sound like I'm a big Josh Allen fan. He's a good player. I appreciate good players. Josh Allen, 22 for 37 on the day, 342 passing yards, 82 rushing yards. 6 total touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 117 passer rating. And the reason why I want to point this out again, maybe some Rams fans out there may be tired of me saying this. I'm not trying to hype up Josh Allen. Oh my God, he's so good, he's so great. I'm just simply saying, you saw a guy who is. We've seen him multiple times. He's compared to Patrick Mahomes in terms of how just talented he is, arm strength, whatever. He loses his battles versus Mahomes in the playoffs, but a really incredible player in our league's history. And the Rams went out. You saw him have a great game. Again, you could maybe say you're a little disappointed in the defense not slowing him down a little bit. But at the end of the day, they slowed him down enough to win the game. You overcame an incredible performance from an incredible player, and that's why I keep mentioning him because that is so impressive to just keep on scoring, drive again. The Rams have struggled this year. We've seen it multiple times, and so for them to go out and do it over and over and over again, third down conversion after third down conversion, it's impressive. Very, very impressive. Again, all I can say. Don't want to keep hyping up the Rams too much. I'll settle down a little bit. I'll calm down. We'll end the conversation here. We'll get back to it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, talking about the Rams win, celebrating that a little bit. But we have a short week. Don't have many days to celebrate. The players are already getting ready for Thursday. We got to mentally prepare ourselves for Thursday pretty soon as well. Stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more daily Rams content. Again, that's going to do it for me on today's episode of the Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Giron. Again, don't forget to subscribe. That's going to do it for me. I'm out.